Hey friends, this is Ian Khan here at Consensus 2025. I'm talking to innovators, great minds, and people who are going to change the world using technology. And here at Consensus, I've got a great friend. We're meeting again. Tell us about yourself. Tell me tell me your name and tell me your company name.
I'm Marta Belcher. I'm the president of Filecoin Foundation.
So, Marta, a lot is happening with technology, blockchain, right? I've been speaking with people in the crypto industry, decentralization, blockchain, tokenization. Help us understand what you guys are innovating.
Yeah, absolutely. So Filecoin is a decentralized file storage network. So we use the fact that you can program cryptocurrency to create this network where people who have extra storage space on their computer hardware can rent it out to others who basically pay to have their files stored on other people's computers. So that might sound like a niche use case, but the reason it's really cool is it means that users can be in control of their own data. So like when you go to a website today on today's web, it's almost always being stored by one of three companies, Amazon, Microsoft, or Google. And we really envision a world where you actually can be in control instead of one of those three companies being in control of your data.
Right. So, in the initial days of blockchain, if you will, right, we had this distributed ledger technology. Nobody understood it. That's about maybe 10, 12, 15 years ago, approximately. Where are you seeing this technology revolution going with decentralization, with crypto? What's your outlook as a founder, as a CEO of a company?
Yeah. So, for me, cryptocurrency is really about a lot more than finance, right? Like for using Filecoin as an example, crypto is really enabling the ability to create the next generation of the web, right? A foundational technology where you really can decentralize the entire internet. And so for us, the thing that I think is very cool about crypto is that it enables you to write computer programs for your money, right? So you could say, for every second of a song that I play, automatically transfer a millionth of a cent to the songwriter. You could say, create a decentralized file storage network using that programmability. And so the ability to program your money really has so many implications that are so much broader and bigger than just finance.
Yeah. So when you look at current file storage providers, there's many of them. I use at least 4 of them to do different things. How are you doing something different that we don't have already?
Yeah. So Amazon, Microsoft, and Google are really have the market in terms of where on the back end your actual data is being stored. So for us, we think it's really important to create an alternative to that. And the thing that's really different is that users can be in control of their own data. So we can take all sorts of users' hardware around the world, sort of bring it together into a supercomputer-like network, and be able to actually compete with those larger data companies. And the reason that's important is you'll have, for example, AWS, you'll have an AWS outage, right? And then suddenly you see these vast swaths of the web go down for hours. And that's really the problem with having single points of failure. With Filecoin, you really can have many, many copies of data stored all over the world in different places, so you're not dependent on any one server or company for keeping that data up.
So as a user, and I'm just trying to understand, so as a user, if I would give permission for my computer to be used as a part of this larger network, that's the large file storage network, is there an incentivization mechanism for me as a user, and what is it?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, the way it works is when you are a storage provider and you provide storage to others, you get paid in Filecoin. And the way that it works is when you're storing someone else's file, there's sort of the simplified version is there's a computer program that's checking and saying, oh, is that file still being stored? Okay, it's still being stored. Great. Then automatically transfer some amount of Filecoin to the storage provider, right? And also, as a storage provider, you can put up sort of collateral before you store files. So that way, for the users, they know that if you suddenly stop, you just delete their file, the file's gone, then that collateral is going to be gone as well. So there are incentives to make sure that files are stored reliably over time.
Excellent. So as a CEO of a company that's doing a lot of this, you're doing a service, so you can store something as a file. There's incentivization for participants on the network. How do you see kind of this incentivization economy, the tokenized economy, taking shape over the next, let's say, the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think many things will be incentivized for us to take part in, and they'll be facilitated by technology?
I do. I really do think that the ability to create these incentives is very, very powerful. And I gave the example of being able to automatically compensate songwriters. File storage is another example. But I mean, if you think about all the things that people currently do for free, like you can imagine editing Wikipedia, right? Like a lot of people put a lot of work into that. So you can imagine things like, imagine a version of Wikipedia where people get automatically compensated when they make an edit and when a number of other people review and don't make further edits, right, or something like that. And you can really automate your money in a way that I think is very, very powerful.
Excellent. What are your goals for the next, say, 5 years? What are you working on, and what is it that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, well, our big goal is preserving humanity's most important information. So we have a massive amount of data stored on the Filecoin network, and a lot of it is very important data. So things like, critical government data sets, climate data sets, genocide survivor testimony, evidence of war crimes. We have all sorts of really important data that we want to make sure is protected and, isn't stored on a web that's much more fragile. So that's really our long-term mission.
Okay, amazing. And what's your URL? We'll check it out and get our viewers to check your website out as well.
Absolutely. So it is fil.org, which is FIL.org.
Okay, amazing. I'm going to go register and log in and try to use the network myself. But thank you. I think it's a really cool idea, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys grow.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much.